This is very overdue. I stress the fact that we win elections when we fight these battles from the centre ground. When you move to your right, you vacate that centre ground, and that gifts it to the opposition. So I'm pleased that there's clarity, a sense of purpose that's now being underlined here as to what we're going to stand for at the next general election.
Was the sacking of Suella Braverman inevitable? Do you agree with it?
I do. I think it was actually overdue, and I'm pleased that Rishi Sunak is starting to craft a cabinet that's going to be able to offer clarity as to what we stand for at the next general election, not tied back with any caucuses or tribal alliances and so forth. Clarity as to where we go. There's been a lot of self-inflicted turmoil over the last couple of years, and the Rishi Sunak has provided a fresh sense of purpose. I think he's brought calm back to British politics. We're seeing him address some of the very difficult domestic and indeed international challenges. But some of his messaging was not getting through because of what Suella Braverman was doing. And so I think, given after last week, I think that was the final straw. But we do need to move forward. I understand there's a lot of baggage that comes with David Cameron. What is needed on the international stage is a big hitter, is somebody that's going to recognize that we have slid into a Cold War. We're sliding dangerously towards a world war, if you're really honest about it. This outbreak in the Middle East is yet another alarm bell on a very busy global order dashboard, underscoring, how the West bandwidth, if you like, to deal with these matters is actually deteriorating. And there's a role for Britain to play. We've become complacent over the last sort of 3 or 4 decades, a collective arrogance, if you like, that somehow we crafted a utopian version of liberal democracy. It's now unraveling in front of our eyes. And the Middle East is absent of a long-term strategy. Britain's soft power, our convening power, our capability to bring people around the table. If David Cameron is going to assume that role, I think he'd be very good at it.
OK, just to go back to Suella Braverman being sacked by Rishi Sunak, I think we spoke to you on Thursday and you quite rightly said, well, we need to just work out who said what, who approved what, etc. But it became quite clear on that day that she had not gone with the changes that Downing Street or whoever said she should make. At that point, she should have been sacked. Why did he wait from Thursday to Monday to do that? That makes him look weak.
You can interpret that. You can also say that it's very much Rishi Sunak's style to look at the details itself. Also, there's been a lot of talk on your program and others about a potential reshuffle. And if that's now been brought forward for any reason or tied into what Suella Braverman has done, it made sense to then do this in the longer term, particularly if you're including somebody like David Cameron and others and so forth, to work that all out and not be forced to do it on Thursday and Friday when the nation was moving towards a very challenging, difficult weekend, which I'm pleased passed off relatively peacefully. But to do it on the Monday, to do it today with a much bigger look as to where we're going to go, the strategic direction of where Britain is going to head. And as I say, this is very overdue. I stress the fact that we win elections when we fight these battles from the centre ground. When you move to your right, you vacate that centre ground, and that gifts it to the opposition. So I'm pleased that there's clarity, a sense of purpose that's now being underlined here as to what we're going to stand for at the next general election.